Good morning, Bucknutters. Welcome to the Bucknuts Morning 5 here on Wednesday, July 8th, 2015. I am Dave Biddle. We will get to the dean of Ohio State football recruiting, Bill Kurelic, later in the show to talk about Nike's The Opening and what you need to know about the Ohio State perspective from the opening. But I'm going to start off talking about the billion-dollar question in Columbus and throughout Buckeye Nation, and that is who's going to be Ohio State's starting quarterback. Back on June 1st, the sportsbook topbet.eu released its odds on who would be Ohio State's starting quarterback, and the website had J.T. Barrett first, getting about 43% of the odds. Cardale Jones was second, about 35%, and Braxton Miller was last with 22%. Well, a lot has changed in a little over a month. A different sportsbook, Bovada.com, came out with Heisman odds yesterday, and within the Heisman odds, you can get a pretty good feel for who they think is going to be the starting quarterback. They have Braxton Miller as the favorite. It's pretty much the exact opposite of the Top Bet EU list that was released last month. They have Braxton Miller as the favorite to win the job, then Cardale Jones, then J.T. Barrett. So I found that very interesting, and I also found interesting just the Heisman odds in general. They have TCU quarterback. This is, again, Bovada.com. This was released yesterday. They have Trayvon Boykin as the favorite to win the Heisman, the TCU quarterback. He's getting 6-1 odds. Then they have Ezekiel Elliott, Ohio State running back Ezekiel Elliott, number 2 in the Heisman odds at 7-1. And then Braxton Miller, the aforementioned Braxton Miller, number 3, tied for number 3 with Auburn quarterback Jeremy Johnson and Georgia running back Nick Chubb. They all have 10-1 odds. And then moving down the list a little bit, at tie for 6, you have USC quarterback Cody Kessler and Mississippi State quarterback Dak Prescott, 12-1 odds. And then down, number 11 on the list is Cardale Jones, 20-1 odds. And then J.T. Barrett is 14th on the list for Heisman favorites, 25-1 odds. He's actually tied with Connor Cook at 25-1. So there you go. Braxton Miller, 3rd on the list, 10-1 odds to win the Heisman. Cardale Jones, 11th on the list, 20-1 odds to win the Heisman. And J.T. Barrett, 25-1 odds to win the Heisman. I imagine this is the first time there's ever been 3 quarterbacks from the same school to be in the top 14 of the Heisman odds before the season has started. And keep in mind, Ezekiel Elliott is second on this list at 7-1. Again, Trayvon Boykin is atop the list at 6-1. I also found it intriguing yesterday. The Maxwell Award watch list was released, and 4 Ohio State players were on there, Ezekiel Elliott, and the 3 quarterbacks, Braxton Miller, J.T. Barrett, and Cardale Jones. So the debate rages on as far as who's going to be Ohio State's starting quarterback. It's a decision that only one man is going to make. That's going to be Urban Meyer, and I have no doubt he's going to make the right choice. I think this is really going to play itself out. It's going to be a meritocracy in camp, and maybe right now Braxton Miller does have the edge if healthy, but that's a huge if healthy. I still think Cardale Jones is going to be the starter to start the season off, just the way things ended last year. But I think more than one quarterback is going to play. We'll see. It continues to be the most interesting topic of conversation here in Columbus and throughout Buckeye Nation.
Go Buckeyes!
Okay, switching gears, let's bring in the dean of Ohio State football recruiting, Bill Kurelic. The opening is going on right now at Nike headquarters in Oregon. And Bill is going to let you know the most interesting storylines from the opening from the Ohio State perspective.
Prospects from all over the country arrived in Oregon on Tuesday for the prestigious Nike's The Opening. And the 2 most interesting storylines for me when it comes to Ohio State prospects were involving Donnie Corley and Rashawn Gary. Corey did not announce his college choice on Tuesday, and in fact told Steve Wiltfong that he is planning to be at Friday Night Lights. That's not a huge surprise. Corley has been telling me that he likely will be at Friday Night Lights, but nonetheless, it's good that he told Wiltfong that he is planning to be at Friday Night Lights, and all of that, I think, plays in the Buckeyes' favor. That is not to say that Corley is going to end up at Ohio State, but an announcement on Tuesday seemed almost certain to be Michigan State if, in fact, he had made that announcement. The fact that he says he is planning to go to Ohio State certainly is positive news. When Urban Meyer gets a guy on campus, especially for something like Friday Night Lights, it works in Ohio State's advantage. Now, certainly, Corley could go ahead and announce a decision sooner than Friday Night Lights, but as of right now, he is planning to be at the Buckeyes' huge camp, and I certainly see that as a positive for Ohio State. The battle is between Ohio State, Michigan State, and Tennessee for Corley. In the case of Rashawn Gary, he is rooming this week at the opening with Buckeye defensive end commitment Jonathan Cooper. that also, to me, is a positive. Keep in mind that when Antoine Jackson, the tremendous defensive tackle from Georgia, was at Ohio State's camp last month, he spent quite a bit of time with Jonathan Cooper. The two hit it off very well. And lo and behold, Antoine Jackson just recently said that his top two choices were a tie between Ohio State and Auburn, and certainly Jonathan Cooper helped that situation along, and perhaps he can help the situation along with Rashawn Gary as well. I see that as another positive, a big, interesting storyline, positive from the first day when prospects were arriving at the opening on Tuesday.
Thank you, Bill. Great information as always. Hopefully the Buckeyes can land Rashawn Gary. That would be huge, but I'm skeptical about it. I think he's going to end up at Michigan. I hope I'm wrong, but I think Gary's going to end up at Michigan. Thanks again to the Dean of Ohio State Football Recruiting, Bill Kurelic, and thanks to you for tuning into the show. I appreciate it and hope you have a great day. Take it away, best damn band in the land.